Tell me about what Holy Diver is about.
Well, Holy Diver actually is a really kind of religious song. I mean, it's once again based from a religious attitude. I have a tendency to do that a lot too, because I think that, especially the religion that I grew up with, Catholicism, has gotten itself so far behind the current current method of healing, because it's so steeped in the past, that I've always had to go at them for really teaching by fear more than teaching by love. Of course they teach by love too, but I was always afraid as a kid of the nuns, you know, the big penguins who were going to like smack you in the head with a ruler, which is what they always did anyway. Or the fact that, you know, if you do something wrong, you're going to go to hell, and you know, you're going to suffer terribly. And I'm, whoa, I mean, give me a break here. What's going on? Here's your God. He's that man nailed up on a cross there. You know, oh my God. Again, it was so much more by fear that I just really divorced myself from most of those attitudes. So anyway, the song Holy Diver is really about a Christ figure who on another place, not Earth, has done exactly the same as we've apparently experienced, or supposed to have experienced on Earth, dying for the sins of man so that man could start again and be cleansed and do it properly. So the same thing happened on this other far distant planet. And all the people on this planet are saying to him, you know, they're calling him the Holy Diver. Holy Diver because he's about to go to another place, to another planet, another world, to do what he did on this place, save people from their sins, or absolve them from their sins by having himself killed. And the people are saying to him, "Don't go, no." You know, innuendos of tigers and stripes and, you know, hearts and being eaten and you'll die. And it was meant to be, it was meant to show just how selfish humanity is. That this one form of humanity on this one world said, no, don't go down there and save anybody else. Stay here. We need you. You're ours. That's what that was about.
We're talking about religion, and we've talked to people about religion on this journey, and about Christianity and about Satanism. And Satanism, as you know, has run through metal music, or at least satanic imagery. And we were in Norway, where a lot of these bands take this stuff very seriously, to the point where they burned down churches, and there's been murders in that scene. I'm interested to get your perspective on the satanic content in metal, and also how religion has played a part in the music that you've made.
Well, once again, religion has played a part in my music more from a dissatisfaction, a discontented kind of view, and that I believe that any religion is a great religion because it gives people the strength, some people the strength to go on. They have to have faith, and they believe that the ultimate goal of reaching nirvana or heaven is because they'll be good people. Hey, can't ask for more than that. That's great. Religion should be teaching love, and it should be teaching that that there is something probably higher than we are out there, to lessen our sense of importance. So, you know, as far as religion goes, I've always dealt with it that way, that it's a good thing, but I think maybe sometimes the teachings don't hold true to themselves. Thou shalt not kill, an eye for an eye. No, I don't think so. So that's why for me the whole world is heaven and hell. That song is about that, the fact that we, in my mind, we live in heaven, we live in hell. God and the devil are inherent in each of us, and it's our choice to make. You can take the road to good and take the road to bad. Well, we have a choice. The optimum way to go, of course, is to do the good thing. I totally agree with that. But again, because religion is taught so badly, I think, that I've used it as an example of humanity somehow. I mean, I've done it with other subjects as well, but religion seems to be one that really works. Now, in the music itself, you're talking about generally a lot broader kind of music, heavier, obviously, doomier at times. It just fits the genre. If you're going to write a gothic song, you're probably not going to write it about how your love affair broke up. So your subject matter becomes a little bit more narrowed. And certainly evil is a great subject. Evil is dark. Evil is something that we know about but don't understand why it happens and don't really ever meet up with the devil. So again, it's kind of having to use your own imagination. It's really the same with a God, unless you believe that it's a white guy sitting with a robe on a chair someplace. You know, obviously it could be an Asian guy doing that, or it could be a woman, or it could be whatever. You know, we don't know these things, so it's good. It lets us use our imagination a little bit. But the themes around evil are just so much more cognizant to the music that we make because of minor keys, because minor keys are so prevalent in most metal music. It's hard to write a song in an entire minor key and talk about, you know, nice things. It just is. So it's a vehicle. It's a good vehicle. In my case, I've done it differently. I've always tried to be someone who has warned people about the fact that there is good and there is evil, and you have a choice, and your best choice is probably not to be evil. This is what evil can do to you. This is what evil has done to the people that I know. Depends on your perspective of evil, though. You know, I mean, drugs are evil. You know, too much indulgence in bad things is evil. Hanging around with evil people is going to beget you to be an evil person. These are the themes that I've tried to deal with in a darker way. Not to say that the devil's lurking around the corner. I'm not one of those who goes to that kind of extreme. I think that has been a problem, that people have taken metal music to that extreme socially. I have tried never to do that.
Because of course we have the satanic phenomenon, and the fact that a lot of metal bands have aligned themselves very closely with evil, or with Satan, and what Satan represents.
It's a symbolism too, isn't it? I mean, it's a great symbolism for what they're trying to portray.
But what do you think then about that satanic element in metal?
Well, I'm not a Satanist, so therefore, I guess I'll have to give them the right to have their religious belief, because that's what that will be. I mean, really, it's like witches at the end of the day. I mean, witches are normally pretty good people, and you know, you only get the satanic end of it that happens that way.
Just hang on, Ronnie.
Yeah, sure.
Flip the mag. And
What's this called?
Slate.
Slate. When I apply for the patent, I want to make sure that the slate. Oh. See, and I'll change this part from the black and white thing to something a little bit more evil.
Just flip them around. Start with white and black.
There you go.
That's
it. Yeah, that's right. Dragon. Let me dragon up here. It'll be perfect. Yeah.
Black
And you open it, flames come out.
Black and red. So, Ronnie, just continue with your thoughts on the satanic content of heavy metal.
Okay, again, you know, from my perspective, it's always been a warning about it. Look, there's evil, a lot of evil out there in the world. In case you don't know that yet, there's a lot of evil in the world. So that's really the way I deal with it. Others, again, go to the extremes and feel that the symbolism, which is incredible for artwork, for stage presentation, it goes well with black leather and chains and all those kind of things, with lights and pyrotechnics. It's just a perfect medium for it. I mean, darkness and then therefore, I guess, evil is a great medium for this. It's a great petri dish, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to those extremes where people are, joining the neo-Nazi party and burning synagogues and burning churches or whatever it may be. That I have no time for at all. But I mean, I think it's just because it's again so not known that you can almost say anything you need to. We all know about good. Love and be good to your neighbor, but we don't really know what the devil's doing. We don't know what's happening where he's hanging out. Is he there with a slate going on? Okay, roll him. Time to burn another witch somewhere. We don't know anything like that. So you have so much more freedom to create lyrically things. Musically, minor keys are minor keys and rhythms are rhythms. But obviously, you must be alluding more to what the subject matter is, because if you're speaking about how Satan is the coolest guy on the face of the planet, then that's what you've decided to do. But
so obviously, there's a line with you. You think when kids get around to actually burning churches like they have in Norway, and feel very serious about this stuff, and actually want to make some kind of broader statement. I mean, we talked to a guy who did burn one of these churches. Mm-hmm. He wants to make a statement. He feels that Christianity in his country has been a terrible, terrible thing that has ruined their society. So mm-hmm. They feel quite passionate about this. But you're saying that's taking it too far.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, that's taken to the point of idiocy. It really is. I mean, we talked earlier about metal and violence. I mean, you can't get any more violent than that. I mean, what if someone was inside that church. Maybe there were, I don't know. I mean, you have a problem with Christianity, so you have a problem with life as well. You have a problem with this person being alive because they're in there. I mean, it's idiocy. It's complete idiocy. Of course I have a line. I have a line. You know, I have my own moral standards that I must deal with. And my moral standards are not in praise of the devil. They aren't. You know, and if that puts anybody off about what I've done in my life, you know, there you go. Hey, I was in Black Sabbath. It's pretty hard to shed that cloak, because we as a band never, ever in interviews would say, no, we're not evil. No, we wouldn't do those kind of things. No, no, no way. And when you don't defend yourself and you let people make their own judgments as to what you are, especially with a name like Black Sabbath, then you're going to be painted with that paintbrush and you're going to have to wear it. What's this called?
Slate.
Slate. See, and I'll change this part from the black and white thing to something a little bit more evil.
Just flip them around. Start with white and black.
There you go.
Dragon's mouth.
Yeah, that's right. Dragon. Let me make a dragon up here. It'll be perfect. Yeah.
Black
And you open it, flames come out.
Black and red.
Market.
So I guess I want to know from you. I mean, do you think these stereotypes about metal musicians and metal fans still persist today, even though there is that kind of assumption that metal isn't around anymore?
Oh, I think it will never go away. I think once you put, once you have little tissues that come out of a box and you blow your nose on them, they're going to be called Kleenex for the rest of our lives, because that's what we call them. Jello is Jello. These are all brands, but I think that once you've labeled something in such a strong manner, I think those preconceived notions will probably always be there. I doubt very much that this is going to change too many people's perception of what we're talking about. But once again, you know, it's interesting to find out what the real truth is, and I'm sure that this will reveal that.
I reviewed our interview that we did at the Vaughan Festival and looked over a lot of things that we had talked about, and it not surprisingly was a very positive conversation about the positive aspects of heavy metal and heavy metal culture. And I can just talk through while this is happening because no one actually needs to hear my voice, but I think we got 12 of them, so it's the most, right?
This one goes up to 13.
And I guess I'd like to ask you the question: is what don't you like about metal?
What I don't, well, that could go a lot of different ways. What I don't like about it is the fact that it doesn't get any attention, of course, but that's not really what you're alluding to. What I don't like about it, I sometimes don't like how easy it seems for musicians to say, I'm going to be a heavy metal musician, and then not do it well. I think that bothers me the most, that it seems such an easy route to go, because the Marshalls can be turned up to 10, and what comes out of it is normally a rhythm first anyway, and then an attitude. But you know, what happened to the guitar players? What happened to the singers? I found that it has become too easy an avenue to just go out and flail away at your instrument and screech away at your voice, or mumble away. That bothers me. That does, because I came from a place where my peers were like guys from Zeppelin and Deep Purple, and and then later on from Judas Priest and from Maiden, and all the people that I respect who can sing and play and think and have again good social conscience, or people that make me proud to do this. So the thing that bothers me most is the fact that it's probably, again, too easy an avenue to just go out and flail away. And I think that demeans what all the rest of us have tried to do. Other than that, there's nothing that I don't like about it. Musically, I love it. I love it because it's all about the attitude. I always wanted to be in a band that just went out and went, how loud can we be tonight? And how strong can we be tonight? That's just something that always attracted me as a musician. And I think that's one of the things that attract fans as well. The fact that it is so damn aggressive all of the time. And, to me, it's always been the difference between if in my younger days, if I was going to have to play a show with other bands, and if one of them was a band who was very popular, but were playing pop music, even though there were a lot of people there to see them, and we were next, that was the best part of it all, because then it was like, wow, check this out. I was proud to be heavy. That's the thing I always wanted to be. I was so proud to play heavy music. No matter what came before us, no matter how successful it was, we knew there was always 2 or 3 people in that audience going, yeah, that's what it's all about. So, that's what I love the most about it, is the music and what it has allowed me to do, which is to be as aggressive as possible and to play really heavy music, but still with hopefully some great musical ethics.
Are you an aggressive person?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm quite, laid back when there's nothing going on that bothers me. But yes, I am an aggressive person. I don't think you become successful unless you're aggressive. But then again, there are different kinds of aggression. There's violent aggression and there's sensible aggression. I think I'm a more sensible, aggressive person. I look around me and see what's happening in the world, and I know that those are going to affect my decisions. I listen to the music, I observe the people around me within the music I make, and I decide how I have to use my own aggression. But yes, I'm aggressive because I want to succeed, and I'm aggressive because I'm opinionated. And what you have to do is, it's easy to be opinionated and aggressive, but you have to prove that you're worthy to be opinionated and aggressive. And I think that's what I've always tried to do. Hopefully I've achieved it, 85% of that way. But yeah, I'm aggressive.
And I think we talked a little bit about this before on the issue of aggression. I mean, something we're trying to work out, or at least talk about in this documentary is that whole aggression and violence association with metal. And I think that I don't know if we'll be able to say metal people are this way in one way or not, but it strikes me that maybe metal people aren't all that aggressive, and that this becomes the only vehicle, because actually I don't consider myself to be a very aggressive person at all, and I think that I often think maybe the reason why that is because I've always had this place. So whatever I have of aggression within me, whatever is there is expressed through this music.
Absolutely.
Whether I play it or listen to it or what.
Of course, that's the whole secret. That is exactly the secret to it all. It is a release of aggression. This kind of music, if you go to a concert and you see people, as you will obviously in this film, you'll see people out there reacting, very, from headbanging to just very, very aggressive attitude. But that's the whole point of it. They go to that show, and by the time the show's over, the aggression has been expressed, and they just go on their way. Let's go have a couple beers. I don't find metal people aggressive after the fact. I find them no more aggressive than the people who destroy a town after an NBA championship game or after a hockey championship game. It seems to be very fashionable that if you win the championship, then you better destroy the town. I don't quite understand that one, and I've never really seen that happen to metal crowds because their aggression has been expressed, and they're, all right, I feel so much better now. I mean, I think it's the perfect release for aggression. I think all psychiatrists and psychoanalysts should prescribe, go to metal shows, go scream and yell your head off, and then you'll probably be pretty happy after that. You are a great example. You don't appear to be an aggressive person. I'm sure I don't appear to be an aggressive person sitting here either, because we release our aggression through the music. And I think that that's always been my feeling about this, that that's what allows me not to be a violent, aggressive person. But hey, we've had some pretty stunning riots going on at pop concerts and in other places as well. And people are what people are. If you piss them off, they're probably going to get rather violent if you piss them off for long enough, and that's going to happen with any audience. So I think that it's a real misnomer to attach violent aggression to blanketly to metal music.
Mm-hmm.